Alex steps out of the purple haze of the nether portal, shaking her head to get rid of the nauseating, swirling feeling. She sees Steve hunched over a crafting table, grinding the blaze rods to blaze powder. "You have ender pearls, right?" Steve asks, sensing Alex's presence without even looking. "Well, yeah, I do." "Great. Do you have those other two blaze rods?" She hands them over to Steve, who swiftly smashed them into fine grains. "Where are the pearls?" Alex exits the nether portal room without a word, gesturing Steve to follow her. "Down to the basement, where I keep all my junk." Junk? Ender pearls were fun. Steve remembers once where he threw an ender pearl into a stack of TNT, where it would be sent soaring for miles until it hit the ground in the middle of nowhere. Sometimes he would risk dying for some ender pearls, which were pretty much one of his only playthings he's ever had. Alex and Steve gently touched the third floor down, which looked pretty bare, save for the numerous chests everywhere, of course. It looked as if the room was simply carved out of the ground and then used immediately after. "Well, as long as it works, it's good, right?" Alex walks up to a stack of chests with the sign MISC Materials on the middle. Alex looks into one of the chests and found 12 ender pearls. "Just what we needed," she mumbles. Walking over to a crafting table, she asks for the blaze powder, where she began to craft them into eyes of ender. "You know, I don't get you," Alex says after a moment of quick awkwardness. "You're so careless about things. You freaking rode a blaze, snuck past the entire nether defense and basically destroyed a major nether fortress, and you're not still surprised or anything?" Steve shrugs without saying anything. "I mean, you ran up staircases without checking to see if someone's going to shoot you." "Well, it worked, didn't it?" Steve retorts, slightly annoyed by Alex's nagging about insignificant things. "It was all in the past, wasn't it?" "What do you mean it worked? You could have gotten killed." "Well, I'm still here, aren't I?" Steve replies smoothly. Alex rolls her eyes. "And I'm glad you are." Steve raises an eyebrow. "Why are you concerned about my existence? I thought we were strategizing how we could slit each other's throats, and you care I'm not dead." "It's not about that, it's about your careless attitude. And that is a problem because you're gonna get yourself killed doing that, that's what." Steve could obviously see she was slightly fed up with his silly antics, as she was repeating herself with the same argument. She finishes up the final eye of ender, putting them all in her inventory. "So when do we begin?" "We'll begin soon, just maybe after tomorrow." Steve stares back. "So, like, 2 days after?" She nods. "Yes, 2 days after today." She looks at the single, lone clock hanging on the wall. "We should get to bed." Yawning, she enters the stream of water she calls her elevator. Steve joins after her, and they swing back up to the surface. They walk down the left hallway quietly. "I better get going." Steve steps toward the stairs before Alex stops him. "Wait." Steve turns around. "What? Would you like to stay here?" She yawns again, pandiculating in her diamond emerald. Steve raises an eyebrow. "Why would I?" he asks. It was as if she just proposed to him. She shrugs. "I mean, I get pretty lonely here at night." Steve looks her up and down. "What? No, that's not what I mean. I don't want a cuddle buddy or anything stupid like that, I just need company." "See her." But Steve already left, shutting the double door behind him. Alex sighs. At least he left her hammer and tools neatly in the pile. She goes down the stairs to get them so she could put them away. What was she thinking? They've already established a rivalry, and she wanted to sleep in the same house. What for, anyways? She's lit every day with no one sleeping not even as close as the same room together, and she's been able to hold it together without a problem. Or maybe it's just because she was new to the new player. Steve walks down the gravel path Alex made that led to the village. "Oh no way, Miss Alex. You are not my type, thank you very much." He mumbles unintelligible thoughts in his mind until he reached the village, which was around midnight. The entire walk, Steve wasn't being attacked by any mobs, which was quite strange for it lasting from sunset to midnight. Steve enters the local inn, pays whatever emeralds he had left to last him the night and flops on the bed of his room, simply glad that the day was over already. As he lies there, eyes on the birch wooden plank ceiling above him, he couldn't help but wonder, why did she ask for him to stay? Was he attractive or something? Steve didn't get the answer, and he certainly didn't want to anyways. His mind thought that it was too busy thinking of other things than to worry about that question. It has been a while since Steve has ever entered the end, let alone fight and defeat Enderdragon. It must have been 1.6 when he did, and that really was a long while ago. Steve let his mind drift on and on about different things, all in hope for it to eventually tire itself out and fall asleep. But there was one thought he kept coming back to: Alex. The next day, Steve trudged back to Alex's house, where he saw her harvesting pumpkins in her mini pumpkin patch. "Hello," says Steve, walking past the metal entrance. Alex waves back. "Hey. So why did you want to wait?" Steve asks. "So we can get to enjoy this world for one last day," she says, almost in a whisper. "What do you mean?" "Well, what else would I mean, Steve? We're probably gonna die on this trip. I just feel like we need one more time to appreciate it, before it gets destroyed," she explains, lugging a pumpkin into her house. "Go prepare yourself for the adventure or something." Steve smirks. "With what?"